Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, you are listening to Z on the Community Matters program today on Leicester's premier radio station called Ramadan Radio. So do share with me your thoughts. We got a wonderful guest here today, Mr. Patrick Kitterick. How are you, Patrick?
I'm fine.
Come on, Patrick. You know the rules in the studio. Come a little bit closer to the mic.
Okay.
And our studio, he's still scratching his head. He should have set your mic up for you. But not to worry. He's learning. So, guys, if you want to call in, you call in on 0116 4822 086. Or you can send us a WhatsApp or SMS on 077 488 55055. So please share with us your ideas, your thoughts, and we'll be here to answer a few questions. Patrick, you ready for some questions?
I'm as ready as
Yes?
it can be.
Okay, we're just going to prepare everybody. It's Ramadan now. It's after the fast now. People have eaten and they're kind of relaxing, feeling a little bit heavy, and getting ready to go to the mosque. So about 8 o'clock, they'll be heading to the mosque. And Patrick, would you care to know how many mosques there are in Leicester?
Oh, I would be interested in that actual number. Yes.
Well, there are, let's say, how many voting districts there are in Leicester?
Oh, I'd say there were about between 150 and 200.
In Leicester?
Yeah, there's
But
there's
there are
21 wards.
21 wards, yeah?
Yeah.
So amongst 21 wards, there are almost 100.
Right, yeah. Usually there's probably about 4 or 5, in some places 7 or 8 different polling
Exactly. So between 100 and approximately 120. We will double check on that. Of course, some of them are small houses where they still consider them as a mosque, but they are teaching children how to learn, how to pray the Quran. They're teaching some good spiritual values to children. So they're also considered as a mosque. But if you see how the city of Leicester has developed over the number of years since 1960s,
Indeed.
it's come a long way, right? Now, Patrick, today I'm going to ask you a question. You were with the Labour Party. We called them the Red Party for many, many years, weren't you?
Yes.
For how many years?
Oh, it was about 34 years.
Now, Patrick has been a councillor for how many years now?
23.
Soon you'll be getting a Rolex after 25 years.
Oh no, I would never take any watches or anything like that. That's what happens when you retire. I'm not ready to retire yet.
It's all about time. So Patrick's been 23 years. He was in the Labour Party, and then you switched sides to the Green Party.
I was welcomed into the Green Party back in 2023, stood for election and was elected as a Green councillor.
Green councillor. So it's quite a monumental switch, isn't it, to go from red to green?
Well, when I grew up, I always saw the Labour Party as being on the side of the ordinary person, the person without much power, and they'd stand up for ordinary people against, then the millionaires, now the billionaires, the people who had loads of power, and the Labour Party would stand up for you. And unfortunately, in the last few years, it's no longer standing up for people.
Yeah, so we're going to come back to the issue of power as we progress today in today's program. Now, we're going to talk about local and we're going to talk about national. Now, something monumental also happened here last week. Local.
Indeed.
Yes. We had a by-election. One of our very established councillors, Manjula Sood, sadly passed away in mid-part of December. And hence there was a by-election in the Stonygate ward, which everybody thought is going to be a walkover for Labour. But it wasn't to be, was there?
No, we were very successful, and our excellent councillor, Councillor Asia Bora, came through and topped the poll.
So how do you know she's excellent? Because she's only just joined your party as a councillor last week.
Asia, I've known Asia for many years, and many people in this area around Evington Road know her from her work in education. her work in the community, and she's got a long-running track record. And now
But
she takes that
now
work
it's a
to the
different
council.
world being
Absolutely.
a counsellor, because excellence can be defined from performance. So
If
wait and see.
if you have a good heart and you're a hard worker, which is ASIA, the rest you can learn. If you don't have a good heart, if you're not a hard worker, then you're lost.
So it's an old story to say if you have a good character, you've got the job.
Absolutely.
The rest you can learn.
The rest you can learn. If you become a counsellor and you walk in, and when you first become a counsellor you think you know it all, then you certainly don't. You've got it wrong. There's a lot to learn in this job, but if you apply yourself, you can be a good counsellor.
So these are words of wisdom. Brothers and sisters out there, if you're listening in, do call in and ask a question from Patrick. He's been a counsellor for 23 years now, and with the Labour Party, and then thereafter with the Green Party. So total, lot of experience. Yes?
I've done a few years.
Yeah. So how old were you when you first became a counsellor?
I was 31 years old, and I'm now 53, 54 this year.
So 31, if you were 31 and you were one of the 54 councillors in Leicester City Council, you would be the youngest councillor. Is that correct?
I think if not the youngest, one of the youngest.
One of the youngest. So how many councillors currently you have out of 54 who are in the age bracket of 30 to 35?
Or there'll be a handful. There's a few, probably about one or two who are of that age. And it's a great shame because we do need more young people on the council.
Well, that's what you are here for, Patrick, to drive that thought forward, to bring young people into the council, and they can create change for tomorrow.
Absolutely. And it gives that perspective of young people on what the council does.
Yeah, so all of you young guys listening in now, it's no good saying you want this, you want that, you should have this. You got to come on the table.
Oh, yeah, be more than welcome
Yeah.
in the Green Party and probably in other political parties as well.
Of course, yeah. Well, that is another issue, which party they will sit with, but they have to be on the table. Because if you have a huge age discrepancy between 31-year-old and then who's the oldest councillor in your council now, approximately?
I wouldn't wish to
No names,
speculate.
no need to name, just approximately. I would say I know one that's about 72 and 10 months.
I'd say that there were older people than that on the
No,
council.
I'm falling behind on my
I know.
research. So there you are. So you're saying that majority from 54 would be over the age of 50?
Yeah, I would do. And to be honest, there's no problem with people being representative of the other end of these age spectrum either. But we do probably need to lean
A balance.
Yeah, it needs to be a balance. It needs to be lent back a bit more
Okay,
towards
so guys,
younger people.
we're moving fast. Let's say between the age of 30 to 40, we need a third.
Absolutely.
And then from 40 to 55, we need a third. And then from 55 to, let's cap it at 65.
Right, yeah.
Yeah? We need the rest to be there. So that's a fair balance.
Yeah.
And then we need a gender balance as well.
Absolutely. There's not a bad gender balance on the council at the moment.
So we're moving forward now. We're coming out with some good proposals. If you agree or if you have a different idea, then do call us on 0116 4822 You're listening to Z on the Community Matters program today. My guest here today is Mr. Patrick Kittrick, one of our renowned, well-established councillor in the city of Leicester. So we had a message already before we'd even started the program, and you don't mind if I read it?
No,
It's
certainly.
complimentary to you, so you don't mind that, do you?
I will never turn down a compliment.
Great. So we had a message here saying, I owe this man so much, even as his constituent. He has helped me so very much and always listened. He fights for all of Leicester and makes politics into a moral endeavour.
That's very kind words, and it's quite humbling. That's
Very humbling. Yes, of course. So you've got fans
Yeah, it was interesting. When I left the Labour Party in 2023 and stood as a Green councillor, it was quite touching, the amount of people who said that they'd had similar thoughts to myself about going over to the Green Party, and they appreciated the work that I'd done over the years. And I genuinely didn't realise how much of an impact you can have. And I would encourage anybody who wants to make a similar impact that you can make that change as being a councillor.
So now your fans are not only in the Castle Ward, where you've been there a long time, haven't you?
Castle Ward councillor for 23 years.
Now, we call that you're part of the furniture over there.
Yeah, I try to stand out, but you do become a bit part of the furniture. Can't deny that.
Now, also, you have a lot of fans over on this side in Stonygate, because I know that you always try to help and get involved to support good initiatives here.
Yeah, it's a case of, just because you've crossed the boundary between Castle Ward and Stonygate Ward is London Road, but I certainly know that the issues don't stop at a piece of tarmac. It's the same issues that are in Castle Ward are over in Stonygate, and if I can help out, I'll do so.
Yeah. Now, we have seen over the last 2 years parking issue problems here. Now, I want you to enlighten us as to how you deal with the parking in your area in Castle Ward, because you have a very busy road by Clarendon Park Road. There's a road that runs across Queen's Road.
Yes.
So how are you managing the parking there?
Well, what we came up with a different type of residence parking scheme. People wanted to protect the Queen's Road shopping area, so they were very much against a 24/7 scheme. So what we introduced in Clarendon Park was a scheme which would stop people parking in the area between 9:30 and 10:30 for 1 hour without a permit. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how would this stop the parking? The problem in Clarendon Park was people were using it as a free car park, turning up 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, parking, then walking to work, and then coming back at the end of the day.
Or walking to the train station.
Yeah, walking wherever. And the thing was that if you had to come back, get your car at 9:30, move it for an hour, and then bring it back at 10:30, it disrupted that enough so that but there wasn't that many visitors to the shops at the time. So we managed to protect the parking from people who were using it as a free car park, but also protected the shops in the area.
And how long has that been?
Oh, that's been in now for must be 5 or 6 years.
Now, on Evington Road, since they installed the parking restrictions, the permits, and the businesses are down by about 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
So we don't have a balance between the residents and the businesses. And the road is iconic for business. It has created so many jobs, not only on Evington Road, but nationally throughout the country. Some of the shops that started here 7 years ago have started local, then they went on national, and then they went global. Now, that is an achievement not anywhere in the country on one road. So nobody has actually ever appreciated that or seen the value that the rest of England, they come here on this road to see what is a success on this road.
Yeah, there's very few vacancies on this road, which is impressive in the current economy.
Now, I remember 2 years ago, an ex-MP from Leicester East came here. I won't say his name because everyone knows who he is. He came here and he sat downstairs and he asked me a question. He said, I've never been here before. I wanted to come and see why this road is so busy as opposed to Belgrave Road, which used to be busy. And that is the power of Evington Road, which is no longer there now. Now is you came this morning due to Ramadan. You don't see many people there, but when you leave, you will not see many people there.
Right.
It's quiet. Normally, during Ramadan, this road is very, very, very busy. So, who is winning now, Patrick?
I think when it comes to the issue of parking, you've got more cars than you've got spaces. You're not going to create, in this dense urban environment, you're not going to create the parking spaces. You're not going to build a multi-storey car park because it costs millions to build. So what you've got to work out between the community and the businesses, you have to bring them together, and you need to work out how you're going to share those spaces.
That road has been crossed over the last 2 years. It's just not happened successfully. And the solutions are so difficult because every house, this is a transient population here. There are tenants who are living in one terraced house and they have 2 cars. So if you work out the revenue generated from all the houses in this ward, Stonygate, in this particular area, would be in the region of about 70,000.
Yeah.
One job lost on Evington Road costs the government 200k.
Yeah.
200 to 250k. So it's all about numbers. Nobody's done the numbers, Patrick.
Yeah, and it's a case of when you have a scheme that comes in like this, you should have the opportunity, after a while of seeing how it's bedded in, to return to it and say what's worked, what hasn't worked, and how it can be tweaked. But to be perfectly honest, one thing I would say is you've got to work out how best to share the spaces there are, because there's a huge demand on spaces and there is not the space to create huge car parks. So you've got to work out how to do it. They've got this scheme coming in, and you see how it beds in, how it's worked, how it's not worked, and one of the role of councillors is to come together, sit down, look at the data, look at the information, and see how it can be improved.
Now, if you had 3 councillors in this particular ward, what does a councillor do? Does he take care of the residents so that they'll vote him in again? Or does he listen to the businesses? What's a councillor supposed to do here?
What you do is you act as the honest broker between everybody who wants a space, and it's a case of it's not the worst thing you can get into is a residents versus businesses, because it's not, because residents don't want to see a shopping area. Certainly my experience in Clarendon Park and Queen's Road is the people who live here value the vibrant shops, and actually it's the best outcome for everybody. But there's got to be give and take, because there will always be less parking spaces than cars who want to be there. You've got to work out how to share it out.
I think it's time that we started to celebrate the shops on this road, Patrick.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
To create awareness.
And people up and down the country are talking about their high streets being in decline, and that hits the local community around them. So actually, I don't see the conflict between a vibrant shopping street and a vibrant neighbourhood. And but sometimes there will be things where there's conflicts, and the role of a councillor is to bring everybody together to get the best solution and to work out to share it as fairly as possible.
That's right. It's very important. I think awareness, understanding the numbers, ultimately, if we look at it from national point of view, the government loses a lot of money if one person is unemployed, is not working.
Yeah. I mean, equally in the ward, you've got areas like St Stephen's Road where you could apply some solutions, although again, sometimes people, what you find when it comes to parking and traffic is that every time you put a solution, some people say, well, that solution's worse than the problem at the start. And so for St Stephen's Road, it'd be quite a radical solution, but if you made it one way, you would create more parking spaces, and you might be able to broaden the pavements at times. But some people don't like one-way systems. So you try these ideas, but the reality is not everybody will be in favour of an idea, but you're trying to create the best idea that you can.
Of course, there are options, but again, they cost money. You mentioned earlier on a multi-storey. There are compulsory purchase of a couple of houses, right?
A multi-storey car park costs about £10,000 This was many years ago that I did this calculation. It was based on the multi-storey at Leicester Royal Infirmary. A multi-storey car parking space costs about £10,000 each to create. That's why you don't see too many multi-storey car parks. It'll be even more expensive today. It is just hugely expensive to produce it. And in the end, people don't want to pay for it. There's a great big car park down behind St Peter's Health Centre in Highfields. And at night, anybody can park there if they pay. You go down there tonight, it's completely empty. So it's a really difficult problem to solve.
But all these solutions have got to be put on the table to say, well, look, this is an option. Option 1, option 2, option 3, but with no options at all to offer an alternative, just to say, right, we're going to put a work permit on, we fix one problem. Those same guys who are paying £80 or £35 a month per annum, over the year, the council will have some not pay, some who will pay, they'll collect an average between 70 to £100,000.
Yeah.
Yes? So that helps the council
Yeah.
with some revenue. But then the businesses, if they are down on business, they are losing business, they will lay off staff.
Yeah.
Then you're not winning, are you?
It is a case of people need to sit down with the numbers, but the one thing that you've got to be straight with people about is there will always be more people who want to park here than there's spaces, and how to work it out fairly.
Right,
Should be a
Patrick.
transparent process.
So congratulations are in place for your local success with the Green,
Indeed.
with your candidate that you put forward. Yes?
Yes.
No doubt you'll be putting her through extensive legwork and some training.
Asia is what's called a self-starter. She's really keen to get involved, and anybody who meets Asia can't be impressed by the amount of energy she brings to it.
That is an absolute letter somebody's written right now. Patrick, at this time during Ramadan, 2 lines, but I will let you read this one out loud, Patrick, because you're a better reader than I am. A new parking rules in our area just aren't working. It was meant to help residents, but now residents paying for permits and losing spaces in their own streets. How are they losing spaces in their own streets, Patrick? Can you explain to me?
I don't know that one. I do recognise the need of hair salons, and we've got some hair salons on Queen's Road, and the businesses there can apply for special permits that allow people to stay for 3 or 4 hours. When you've got as little hair as me, you don't need 3 to 4 hours to be in a hair salon, but I believe ladies do need a little bit longer.
Exactly.
So it's a case of, certainly we arranged in Clarendon Park that the hair salons could have a longer permit for the customers.
So it says a hair salon nearby needs customers to park for up to 2 hours, and now the owner is having to sell because clients simply can't park.
There are certainly, for that particular person, I can put them in touch with people in Clarendon Park where the arrangements were made, not just for 2 hours, for longer than that, because I am told by women friends that you possibly do need slightly longer than 2 hours to get some haircuts done.
Here's a proposal. Free parking, like you said, for a couple of hours for a lady to do her hair. And then also another proposal, why not build a proper block further up the road, maybe near One Stop or Subway, even with a top football pitch or sports facility for the community?
Yeah, the simple fact is if you can look it up, quite a few years ago they built a multi-storey car park at Leicester Royal Infirmary. You can Google it, you can look up the information. I think it was about £5 million for a 1,000-space car park. So it's
well, they have the money, so they can afford to do it. Easy, no problem.
Yeah. Well, but the question I'll ask is, if you build a multi-storey car park and you charge, will people use it? Because people, if you're going to build it, people are going to have to pay it, and that's the issue. But some of the issues, such as 30 minutes free parking, mixed pay and display in residence bays. This is all perfectly possible and has been done in other areas.
Okay, now do please ring in and talk to us if you have a comment on the parking issue, but obviously Patrick's only here on an advisory capacity. He can't do change here. It's not in his remit. But his comments, his opinions are well worth it, right? So, Patrick, we're going to go on now to the national issue that I mentioned to you, right? Does the name Hannah Spencer ring a bell to you?
Absolutely. Anybody who watched Hannah's speech after the Denton and Gorton by-election couldn't be but impressed by the honesty and passion that she brings to politics.
Now, do you know something, Patrick, I'm going to share with you? I think Hannah has been talking to Mamdani in New York.
I'm not sure whether she's got a hotline to Mamdani, but I think both her from the Green Party in this country and what Mamdani has done in New York, it's refreshing because it's a way that politics has been spoken about that I haven't heard for many, many years.
So Hannah Spencer, for those of you who don't know, she was recently elected as a Member of Parliament in the Gorton constituency, which is in Manchester. Gorton and Denton, yes?
Yes.
And that was a unbelievable win by Hannah Spencer. Of course, 34 years old, what a welcome in Parliament for a 34-year-old.
Absolutely. And I think, again, young Green political representatives are showing the way. And to be honest, the system needs a shake-up. And we need more young people, more Green politicians involved to shake the whole thing up.
So that was fantastic. Hannah Spencer, 34 years old, now a Member of Parliament. She's with the Green Party. She's gone green. And she's going to do her best, yes?
Yeah, but clearly we're a small voice, but a loud voice, and hopefully there's more of us to come.
Now, my message to you, Hannah, if you're listening in right now, you are a plumber. You are good at fixing leaks. So when you get to Parliament, you're going to find a lot of leaks over there, and you got to fix them, Hannah. So if you're listening to me, take heed. And also, if you can't fix the leaks, there will be members of Parliament who are standing in your way. And what people don't know, that you've also qualified as a plasterer.
Yeah, I don't know which is harder to find, a good politician or a good plumber.
So, Hannah, you are going to have to plaster them. And they're going to go home and say, I just been plastered by Hannah Spencer from the Green Party. Right? So, Hannah, are you up for that?
Hope so.
So, Patrick, you give her a call and give her some support, right?
Absolutely. Well, we're all supporting Hannah.
So, you know that she needs some real inspiration. And Hannah, do call in. If you're listening in right now, call us here on the studio, 0116 4822 086, or anybody else who wishes to congratulate Patrick and all his colleagues who are doing really well. You can WhatsApp on 077 488 55055 on Ramadan Radio you are listening to right now. Now, Patrick, time for change, right? Are we ready for change? Yeah?
Hopefully.
So, would you agree that British politics and politics the world over are fragmented?
Yes, it's definitely fragmented. I think the influence of big money is too strong in politics across the world.
So you've seen that happen over the years, yeah?
Yeah, it's just the fact that now lobbyists, billionaires, they stop any progress.
So what are we going to do about that? You know, are we embracing change? Like the kind of change I'm talking about is radical. AI in governance. Are we ready for that?
I don't think we're ready for it because it presents opportunities. It also presents threats.
So all of you listening in right now, do give us your comments on this, because we have a political system which has emanated from the Roman Empire. We replaced the Colosseums with the Senate, which now is a parliament. We have 4 parties in there, or probably more, if you count the independents as well, right? So everybody's having a go at each other. Ultimately, what's taken us over is ideology. Yes?
Yeah, I think ideology isn't so much the problem as the fact that the money that washes through politics now, millions, hundreds of millions of pounds, and it's unaccountable, and people are bought and sold, and actually people have been missed out of the process.
Of course, when you have that situation, there's an element of bias. Yes?
Absolutely.
So this is where AI can fix all that. Right? Now, we have seen AI in business, we have seen AI everywhere. Today, you go for a job, they'll be interested to see on your CV about what you know about AI. What experience have you had with AI? Now, AI used to be once upon a time, just go on Google, find out what you need. But now we have 200 different AIs that you can have access to. 200 are just those at the tip of my tongue. Well, in reality, there are thousands of AI. So everywhere is AI. The world over, the military grab the AI and use it for wrongful purposes. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how we can streamline governance, how we can move forward by being not biased, by working to our constitution, by creating an AI which is not prejudicial to caste, color, creed, culture. It's taking care of everybody's views. Now, societies have changed from 1960 to 2026, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the political sphere, it relatively remains the same.
And I think that's why you're seeing the breakdown of the traditional parties. It used to be Labour versus Conservative. And now you see in the opinion polls that pretty much at any one poll can show 5 political parties across the country, neck and neck. And if you add in the Scots Nationalists and Plaid Cymru, you've got 7 political parties, which are all vying. And actually, I think it's a sign that the old political order is breaking down.
So, like you said, influence, it lies today with the elites, right?
Absolutely.
Now,
too much power in the hands of too few people.
So if you're listening in now, what AI will do, it will allow the people to go on their app and to vote on a decision to be made. So the people's views are being followed, not a few members who are sitting in the cabinet who are deciding the future for you.
But the worrying thing is you've got people like Elon Musk, who's got a huge amount of power, Mark Zuckerberg, massive amounts of power. The point is if we've got this technology, which is a good thing, but we've got to make sure that it's democratized.
The thing is, you will recall the Gulf War, the first Gulf War, and millions of people came out to vote. Nobody listened to the people. They went and listened to a handful of elitists, and they went and killed 1 million Iraqis. Yes?
Yes.
And the same thing's happening again, because human beings cannot be trusted to be making decisions and killing.
But if you take those politicians and you open them up to democracy, that's the real power.
And where the bias is, 3 soldiers died, and it's all over the news. No one talks about the 160 children in schools who were killed. Nobody talks about them.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. There's media bias. There's bias everywhere.
And there are reports that the Israelis are using AI to pick targets and are using it to make those decisions
Now,
about who
I don't know what kind of AI, but any AI that goes and throws a missile over at a school of girls to kill 160, 150, I don't know the exact figure. It started off with 69, went up to 100, then it came to 150. The latest I heard was 160. And that is 2026. Is it necessary for us to do that in 2026?
The issue is AI, like anything else, is a tool. A tool can be used for good. A tool can be used for evil. I can use a hammer to put a nail in the wall. I can use a hammer to crack somebody's skull. Any tool at the end of the day is determined by the good or the evil behind it.
So what I'm saying, in the future, decisions like that should be made based on evidences. The people have the right to have a view, not based on ideology.
The opportunities afforded by AI is having as much information open to as many people as possible. But we do have to be careful that that is the correct information and not misinformation, which we often see nowadays.
Of course, now for those of you who will not be aware, there are many courses available online. There are universities who are now teaching AI at a level which they even can see. It may even damage universities in some respects, because people are able to learn from AI to adapt to tomorrow's world rather than continue with the same old mode of education. So there are changes coming, and if we don't adapt to change and we remain resistant to change, we're going to get left behind.
Oh yeah, the change is coming, so you've got to be ready for it, whether you like it or not.
So I think everybody take this opportunity to learn about it. Awareness is important. What we are doing today is bringing people to be aware about AI and how it can benefit in your council, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
There's huge possibilities.
So I have not seen any government institution, council or parliament even implement that to bring about more efficiency, more accountability, and to bring AI into the fold. And in future, it's going to happen. We talk about it today, we disagree with it, we agree with it, but it's the only way forward.
No, well, it's coming whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And one of the most interesting parts of AI is it can take massive amounts of information, and the council and governments hold massive amounts of information, and it can process it so you can make use of it.
And now to implement this, we need that famous white paper. We need some university professors to come on board to make it happen, even if we made it happen in Castle Ward, for example. Yeah?
Absolutely. You can
with one app.
You can start it off
Right.
at a small scale, and then you can grow it up.
You can grow it up. Now, it's a beginning, isn't it?
You are beginning to see the signs of it, but there will be a lot more to come.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's take a practical example. For example, you see a pothole on the road. Yes? You go to your AI, and the whole process is fixed by that AI. Instead of you calling your counselor, and the counselor takes it to his relative highway department in the council, and all these things. This is just one example. But
Yeah,
there are many.
I mean, there is if people haven't got it, there's the Love Clean Streets app, which you can get, which for reporting of fly tipping and other issues. The issue is, at the end of the day, is the reports go in, but I think we need more people to go and follow up those reports. But the technology is there, and I would encourage anybody to check it. It's free to download, the Love Clean Streets app. If you want to report it, you can take the photograph, it will give you the location, and it will give you updates until it's cleared. It's a really good system.
No.
We just need more men and women behind to actually pick it up, because that's too slow. But the men and women doing it are trying the best they can, but there's just not enough of them.
Patrick, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to China?
I went to China once many years ago.
How long ago?
Oh, it would be just under 20 years ago.
And there you see an example of the movement of human beings. You can't go from A to B without the AI knowing that you have gone on this train station and you've come out of the other train station. Your passport is scanned, no tickets. You buy your ticket with your passport, and your passport's your ticket. Yes?
Yeah.
And this is all AI. Now, the streets are clean. Everything is off from your phone. There's no money. You have to upload money onto your phone and use your phone for payments. So they are way, way ahead.
Yeah, it can be a bit unnerving sometimes, giving over that much power to a machine.
It's amazing. I'm lost every time I go there. I go there frequently, and I see, what are we doing wrong? These people, there are 1.4 billion of them. And how do they make it work? And we're only, I think, 69,430,000 in UK. 430,036 in the UK, our population here.
Yeah, it's a case of, though, you have a lot of people who aren't particularly happy about the government knowing where they are and what they're doing. So it does. There's
And
two sides to that coin.
You have safety, you have security, and it's unbelievable. You go to the airport, you check in, and you're on that plane with minimalistic of hassle. And it's amazing. And what impressed me also, Patrick, was 15 years you are in government and you're out. Next. Yes? You don't have any career politicians there. They've taken them out. 15 years.
In China?
Yeah.
Well, I think President Xi wants to be there for a bit longer than 15 years.
He's an exception, but generally, a lot of politicians, in their kind of member of parliaments, they serve 15 years. And they start early, they finish early. And they don't have politicians that are there forever, career politicians. Yes?
I think the important thing is that the public are given the chance to get rid of you if they think you've had your time's up. And one day my time will be up. And then there's a system for getting rid of me.
Oh, not yet. You got a long way to go, Patrick. We need you.
Yeah, no.
You know, when we say 15 years, that doesn't apply to you, right? I'm sure you listeners will agree with me that Patrick's here to stay for a long time more. Your task from radio is that you got to initiate at least 10 councillors in this next election who are from the age of 30 to 40. Are you up for that?
If there are people out there who work with us, we'd welcome them in the Green Party with
No,
open arms.
we are saying, Patrick, you put your human hat on and put your colours away, red, green, yellow, all of them out. And there's two blues now, isn't there? There's one with the Reform and one with the Conservatives. They're also blue. But is one dark blue and one light blue?
One is, I believe, the colour is teal.
Teal.
Yes.
I'll get used to that one.
Yeah.
But talking about the Reform Party, alliances, recently you had a vote in the council last week where your party member, the Green Party, they agreed with the serving party on an issue. I'm not too sure what the issue was. Cuts. Cuts in Leicester.
No, the agreement was about the funding of adventure playgrounds. The adventure playgrounds in the city serve some of the children with the least money, and it gives them a chance to go and play and enjoy themselves and develop. But that work takes money, and so myself and Labour councillors argued, and indeed Conservative councillors and Liberal Democrat councillors argue that there should be some more money. And so it's a case of we argued for that money, £2 million more, keeps the adventure playgrounds going. I would like a more longer term deal for them. That's what we argued for. And to be honest, Ed, you can say, well, why don't you turn up at the council and always vote against Labour? Well, if you agree with them on an issue like adventure playgrounds, I'm not going to artificially say, well, I'm green, you're red. We must always disagree. If we agree, we agree. If we disagree, we disagree. We didn't, there's some random person who's going around saying we voted for cuts. If they can tell us
we need to find that random person.
Well, if they can tell us which cuts we voted for, I'd be very interested, because we didn't vote for any cuts at the council.
I'll tell you what, you and I, after the programme, we're going to start making few phone calls and find this random person. If you are listening, you random person, do call us. We've only got a minute left on 0116 4822
But I mean, seriously, if I agree with Labour politicians, if I agree with Conservative politicians, if I agree with Liberal Democrat politicians, and there's a genuine agreement.
We have 50 seconds left only. What about one important issue? History was made in Leicester when Shaukat Adam was elected as an independent MP.
Indeed.
Was that the best thing that ever happened? History in the making.
It was probably not the best thing that happened in the history of Leicester, but I work with Shaukat Adam. He's not the same party as me. I work with him. He's a very conscientious person. Quite happy. Worked with him before. More than happy to work with him in the future.
Great stuff. So that's a reminder to all of you that in Leicester, At the last general election, history was made. A member of parliament was upseated who had a majority and a safe seat here. So, brothers and sisters, we shall say goodbye now, Patrick, and we look forward to talking to you again in the Community Matters program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.